What's going on, friends? Sean Pierce Johnson here, and today I am in Camarillo, California. Geography lesson time. Camarillo, about a 2-hour drive from me in Orange County, and I came up to visit this guy. This is Mr. Chad Jennings of Jennings Guitars, buddy. It's good to see you too, and it's a special day because look what I got.
Heck yeah,
dude, this has been a long time coming, a long time conversation, and I'll tell you what, it was worth the wait. It was absolutely worth it. I'm so excited. We're gonna talk a little bit about this later on, but I need to do some catching up with Chad. How have things been for you over the last year? You have just been killing it. It seems.
It's a one-man hustle right now.
One-man hustle.
I have a little help here and there, but it's mainly me, and dude, orders keep coming in. I kind of can't believe it. It's kind of like surreal.
It seemed like the NAMM show last year, whatever you brought for that show was gone by the end of the weekend. And then this last year, you were so busy. You're just canceled. I can't do this.
I've got so many backlogged orders that I had to call it in, and I've just been doing the hustle.
Doing the hustle. I think you guys, if you follow Chad and Jennings Guitars on Instagram, you see a little bit of that production process, some of the things that he has been working on. What would you say has been the response so far to the Navigator since you introduced it last year? You feeling pretty good about it?
You know, I feel really good about it, actually. Getting a ton of custom shop orders for him. I kind of released it to try to be a standard, more economical variation of what I do. Mm-hmm. And I put them out, and everyone wanted one teles with humbuckers. Navigators with humbuckers. I'll do that from time to time.
Yeah, it happens. It's what happens.
But
so, doing humbuckers, like I've seen a couple. You threw Bigsby's. I saw a couple Masteries get on there. You
saw an HSS Mastery in shell pink. You know, shell pink fun. Is like the hot ticket for Navigators right now.
Shell pink, and I think it had gold pickups in it. That happened? Yep. That happened, and this is another one of those custom shop ones that I kind of cooked up. I don't even know if I had this in mind when you were telling me originally about the Navigators last year. Of course, you guys have seen this beautiful Sonic Blue one over the course of the last year, and that has kind of been the placeholder for this guy as we were formulating the idea and putting everything together. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of, you know, what really put this idea into my head and what it's like to make one of these happen, I've gotten a couple questions from viewers about just a basic Cliff Notes version of what got you to this point. Like, where'd the journey start and how'd you get here?
It started in 8th grade.
Cool.
So I had a science project to build or explain a process, and I told my dad, I want to build an electric guitar. And he looked at me kind of puzzled.
Nice.
He's like, well, we have some tools in the garage. So we bought a book. They spent plenty of money on nice parts and wood. And
all right.
I built a Les Paul thick Gibson SG variation.
Nice.
And, I did the set neck, and somehow it worked. I don't know how it worked. I was not very intelligent in my 8th grade thinking.
First time go, the dude chooses to do a Les Paul thickness SG with a set neck. What are you doing to yourself?
Somehow I got the neck angle right, but I was like, oh no, it's all wrong. So I'm like thinking back, so I started chopping up the neck, and then realized my first draft was correct, and so it's got dowels in the neck. It's all interesting.
Do you still have it?
Here. It's at my house.
Okay, he still has it. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
You still have it.
Oh, I'm not getting rid of that one.
That's awesome, man. So 8th grade, and then after that, you did end up going to a lutherie and repair school?
Man, not till I was like 22.
Okay.
But kind of always tinkered on neighbors' guitars, destroyed a lot of guitars, made a lot of Frankenstein instruments.
Yeah.
And I think probably 2010 I started doing repair and building some copy type guitars, and just kind of stuck with it and kept pushing through.
So was 2010 technically the beginning of Jennings Guitars?
I called 2014 because that's when I started in this new facility with like the current branding that we have and stuff. Before it was kind of like Joe Schmo making S-type copies in his garage.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
Yeah.
I remember first seeing your stuff. It was at the LA Amp Show.
Oh man.
Yeah, you were sharing a room. I think it was Ventura Valve amps.
Yeah.
And I just walked in, and I actually ended up seeing a friend there. I had no idea, he was actually at the show that day, and just kind of seeing everything grow. And then we reconnected a little bit over a year ago, and hanging out with the guys from 60 Cycle Hum, the Flippin' Flippers, the Tone Jerks, all those San Diego guys. I'm the only Orange County guy.
Hey, I drove down from Ventura.
You did drive down.
I made the trek.
You made the trek. And you told me about this tele-style project. And obviously, an economical guitar. It seems like, you've been telling me a little bit about your design process and how your thinking is with building, keeping things simple, and it definitely fits within that Leo school of thought of things are very simple and easy to put together. And obviously, this being the original solid body electric guitar, give or take a few designs and whatnot. Right. It's pretty cool to see. And you're offering these in such a wide array of different options, and you're still at a pretty competitive price point starting wise.
We did bring the prices up a little bit, but most of the guys are going custom shop. Okay. So it's like
it's still balancing.
I had to bring it up because ideally I was going to make a bunch of these and just have them sitting on racks and grab them.
Right.
You pick a color and go, but everyone wants kind of Buckers and Bigsby's, Masteries. So I just turned into big custom things. So we had to bring the prices up a bit. Still very affordable as far as boutique goes.
Yeah. I mean, even if, not to toot my own horn, but Chad and I worked out a deal where I did some work and I paid just a nice little discount on this, and even still, like, what I've gotten for what is in my hands right now is just, I could never have gotten, even if I paid full price for this, I could never have gotten anything like this at any kind of store on here. We should talk a little bit about the process and what got to this point. So basically, we start with exactly what Chad has in his hands right here. And this is pretty much a standard spec Navigator.
Yeah,
which for the folks at home is standard spec, usually.
Price-wise?
Standard specs, like materials and whatnot.
Oh, exactly, yeah. Sorry, Swamp Ash, and then we do maple neck, and then maple or rosewood fingerboard. So that's basically it, and then you got a few color variations on that.
Blue, white, butterscotch, black, and there's different cool things that you can do with
My personal favorite's the Olympic whites.
Mm-hmm. My favorite is the Olympic white as well. And that was kind of, when I saw that you were doing a white, I've always wanted a white Telecaster, and there's always something about a white guitar that is immediately eye-catching to me. I guess it's just that idea of a dark stage and that stark contrast is something that I just immediately gravitate towards. But it's not enough for it to just be the simple thing. Figure the man is offering some extra options, and if I'm willing to pay, why not take advantage of it? And so we ended up going with the idea of putting a roasted maple neck on, which you do a lot of these days.
I prefer to do them. You just get like a little bit more than you do over your regular maple.
Yeah.
I try to explain the tone to people kind of like maple meets mahogany kind of vibe.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more maple, but that's what you can kind of expect from
it. Is very... You can feel a lot of vibration going through the neck. It's highly resonant. And then, of course, the lightweight Swamp Ash, that just projects like nobody's business. But it feels so nice, and you put this like light oil finish on it that, it's not sticky, it's not terrible. We got the neck heel that you can get right up to the top.
Yep.
21 frets. You ended up doing, which I love. These are like one of my favorite things for your inlays, is the hollow ebony dots. How did you come to that as part of like your design process?
I think it just the idea of keeping it simple, but yet something to kind of stand apart, and it just kind of like, I wonder if we could just hollow out the centers.
Yeah.
And we did, and we were like, wow.
Now, something that I'm looking at right now is I see my neck, it's roasted maple, and my fingerboard is roasted maple, but it all looks like it's one piece. Is that one piece?
It is the same piece that I saw in half, glue the fretboard in, then glue it down.
All right. So
but the key is getting the grain match from the same piece of wood, because I've done it from like different pieces of wood, and it's like light piece on top, dark on bottom, or vice versa.
Well, the seam is so good that it looks like it's one piece, which is pretty darn impressive. I know there's some people out there, when they go to buy a guitar, if it's anything more than just one piece, they kind of like scoff at it, and if they can see the joint and, you know, where the two are glued together, they automatically turn away. And the fact that you've gotten to the point with this, and it looks like one piece, it's amazing. Fret wise, this dude rolls those fret edges like they're supposed to be butter.
Yeah.
And they're shiny. High polishing too. I think the thing that's really amazing about getting to know this Navigator over the last year, and then finally holding this one in my hand, the full realized you've not even seen my final form yet. I don't watch Dragon Ball Z. Whatever. But the point is, like, it plays with this speed and this ease that is just so cool that you don't see it in guitars of the, as I've called them, the California style of guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, even though technically Jackson Charvel was San Dimas, we don't typically associate those guitars as being, you know, California style. We think another builder, but this has that classic American look.
Yep.
It's got the speed, it's got the playability. Now, you've done a couple other things that are different from this that you look at as improvements, such as this one, mine, does not have any string trees.
Yeah.
So this is part of the sort of evolution of it.
Yeah, so I've kind of gone to these stagger-pieced headstock tuners, and they allow for a lower break angle, so you don't have to put the string tree. I know you can't probably see it on the camera, but we've got a nice break angle there, helping to hold the high E in well, and then what else do we do this one? Roasted is definitely another option, like we talked about.
Compensated saddles.
Yeah, and I'm polishing those out now. If you look at this one, we've got tarnished ones. They're kind of tilted, but I definitely like the slotted compensated saddles a lot more.
Definitely helps me as a modern guitar player. You know, that little extra bit of, you know, intonation and tuning stability will help with a myriad things that you deal with as a modern guitar player.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say we'll get obviously some playing clips of this and whatnot, but we were plugged into this little Benson over on the side here using a Rev G3 pedal, and it sounded like we need to get a gent guy in here playing this rig, because I think he'd have a killer time playing it, and I was having some fun with it as well. We ended up going with a different set of pickups, I think, just ever so slightly.
We went with the same ones, actually.
Okay, they are still the McNellys.
Yep.
But the neck is slightly overwound. And is that the same as that one?
They're actually the same. I kind of have the sets because they're so hard to tell because the name's just on the back. So McNelly offers 2 standard tele pickups. He's got the A5 signature for the bridge, and then a A2 signature for the neck, and then you can get those in a plus variation where they're slightly overwound.
Okay.
I remember you said that you really like the tones that you had on this one. You're very comfortable with it, so I tried to match them.
Figure you're gonna get yourself a Telecaster, you might as well get the Telecaster tones.
Yep.
And I think one of the things that this was something that we both went back and forth on was the overall aesthetic, because I definitely was Olympic white with the black pickguard, but then painted headstock. Yeah. I've always been attracted to, especially, you know, Fender style guitars with painted headstocks, because they just are so unique. Yeah. And where you were suggesting leave the roasted maple where your logo is on the headstock, I was thinking, well, no, what about a black overlay? And one of the things that I thought of as I was piecing this together was not only to keep that stark black-white contrast, but one of the big inspirations for this particular way that I wanted to have the guitar is I'm a big fan of the Rickenbacker basses, and for a while they had what they call the tuxedo finish of it, which basically is an all white with black accents. So it's a black pick guard. The truss rod cover where the Rickenbacker logo is colored black. So it's just, again, that stark contrast of that black and white. Jesse Keeler from Death from Above 1979 played one of those basses when I saw them back in high school, and it was just immediately this eye-catching, like, whoa, that looks cool. I think I need to have something like that in my life. And now I have something like that in my life, all thanks to this guy. Oh man, I am so excited. Let's hear a little bit of this thing, and then we can talk some more. So, yeah, I'm happy. I don't have a whole lot to say other than, you know, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while to get it here, but dude, it was so worth the wait. I am so excited. If I can just compare my experience with this guy to this guy, this one feels like it maybe has just a little bit more weight to it, but I really could care less. I'm a Les Paul player normally, so
this one's really
this
light.
One is so lightweight.
It's like a featherweight.
But they're both equally as resonant. They're equally as snappy. They've got all those qualities of a Telecaster style guitar with those Telecaster style pickups that you would want. So you are going to be seeing this a lot on the channel over the course of the next year, and hopefully we'll be releasing some new music that I will be able to record some stuff with this, because I can't wait to lay down some guitar tracks. This is absolutely awesome. But that's enough about me. What is in the future? And you have teased a couple things that you are working on.
Yep.
You know you're not getting away from this interview without talking about what you're doing, nor is he going to get away without building his first 5 without sending one of those to me. So tell me about this ambitious project of doing your single cut style.
Single cut, LP style.
Exactly.
I hope LP's not trademarked.
It
might be though.
It's initials. What are you gonna do? What's that? Latin percussion.
Latin percussion.
There we go.
Exactly.
So there's two. Anyway, we're
releasing a Latin percussion guitar.
He is releasing we're gonna have a cavity right here with a shaker in it, and it's gonna have a microphone in it, so you will be able to. In all seriousness, he's making a Les Paul. I'm excited. I need you to tell me why now. Especially because there seems to be so much around Gibson style guitars, with the caveat that I say that I love my Gibsons and I love a lot of the people that I know that work at Gibson. It seems like an odd time to choose to do such a design, and especially since, to me, you've made your bread and butter off slightly California styled guitars. Now you go to the Kalamazoo kind of style stuff.
Yeah.
What was the genesis of that idea, and where do you want to take that? And not only that, where do you want to take everything else that you're working on?
Well, the LP inspired guitar I am drawing right now. You saw pieces of that. It's coming first out in a carved top variation, 24 3/4 scale, and basically gonna run buckers on it. This first one's gonna have buckers, carved top, and a mastery setup. It's pretty ambitious, but it's gonna come out great.
Wow. Okay.
And then I also plan to do a flat top variation of it.
Okay.
Kind of an LP Junior thing, but with the flat top, I'll be able to run more of your, because I do all the pickups. Mm-hmm. You've seen it. I do all of the pickups. So the flat top variation will be able to do all of the pickups, all of the bridges, With the carved top variation, I found some limitations in drafting it up, so we couldn't do all of them. And yeah, I think one thing I'm stoked about is my clients have really good taste. I can say no to stuff, but they come to me with a lot of great ideas. So it's fun to work with them to brainstorm with it. So I don't have like a very specific direction I want to take it. It's just going to kind of evolve, and we can all kind of watch to see what happens. Nice. And I'm usually very surprised in how things evolve.
Yeah, and that's really cool, because although you have production guitars that you make, you do work with people on a very personal basis to get the instrument that's absolutely right. I know I can speak for my buddy Andrew from the Get Offset podcast with his Voyager. Ooh. That creamsicle orange was, whoa, that is striking. And nobody's going to make that a production guitar. Nope. So good on you, Andrew. I like that one. That's awesome. And as far as like Voyagers and Navigators, those are still going to be around. Those aren't being neglected. And again, you can call Chad up, you can send him an email, and you might be able to work out something where you'll be getting a really sick guitar. I am so excited. I can't wait to get this home and plug it into the orange. I'm just I can't believe how well it screamed through the Benson. I thought you were playing Buckers for a while. Dude, I cannot believe how good this whole package sounds. I wanted a Telecaster that I could do the classic stuff with, but that I could get heavy and play my kind of stuff with. And I am so excited. I'm probably going to be staying up late and playing this when we get home. So, Chad, thanks so much, man. It was so awesome. Thank you for having us at the shop. Thank you for this. Before we wrap this up, tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs. You can just find me at JenningsGuitars.com. I tell everyone to email me, because that's the best place for me to catch you, which is info@JenningsGuitars.com. There you go. All right. info@JenningsGuitars.com. For Chad Jennings, I am Sean Pierce Johnson, and we all wish you great tone and happy stomping. We'll see you next time.